The crypto markets have given us a bounce. We're going to chart over Bitcoin and Ethereum to see where the market may be heading. Also, in my last video, I shared where Bitcoin may bounce from, and I went long. So let's get right into this video. For checking out the channel. Every day we put out a new video about cryptocurrency education, markets, giveaways, and more. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any content. Now, let's go to the moon. Let's start with some of the Bitcoin news. So the sentiment is still very bearish. Like, I searched Bitcoin news and look at this. This is like the front headlines. Bitcoin death crosses starting down bulls after a painful retreat. Bitcoin is off to the worst annual start since the dawn of crypto. Macro and technical headwinds accrue for Bitcoin. Bitcoin daily chart alert bears remain in near-term control. Bitcoin traders see $340 million worth of liquidation as Bitcoin dips below $40,000. So you can see a ton of fear there. This is the fear and greed index. We're still seeing an extreme amount of fear. Everybody is bearish. They're thinking we may have, topped off and went into a bear market. So let's look at the charts. Let's look at what Bitcoin's saying. In my last Bitcoin video, I showed you guys that this was a crucial support right here that I didn't want us to see, break down. So you can see this was resistance, acted as resistance, support, and we bounced off huge right here, and now we're back here as well. I took a small long on BYBIT, both on Ethereum and Bitcoin. I'll go over why I took those. They're in small profits right now. Didn't take the biggest long, but it's because I think we still may get rejected. So if we go back to the price of Bitcoin, we're in a downtrend right now. You can see, the daily, as the news mentioned, the daily did put a bearish death cross right here with the 250 EMA crossing over each other. So we're in a downtrend. The moving averages just crossed over. Let me try and line that up right here. And we're creating, a classic downtrend, lower lows and lower highs. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And are we going to go and test this lower high right here? Which, this is an awesome point to test. Which I'm going to go into where I think Bitcoin may be going. So if we look on the weekly, you can see that we just broke down under the 50 EMA. As we did here, we kind of consolidated here and then we took off. So I think we may be doing something similar. You can see how this support is, it's very important. I think that we don't want to break this down, or we potentially might still head towards the low 30s. That is not out of the picture. So you can see right here, we did get the crossover. The 4 and 9 is about to cross over for a buy, which is shorter time frames for moving averages, but you can see they've done extremely well. I've covered this a ton, so if you want to look at the moving averages, you can look at old videos or old Bitcoin videos or strategies where I've shared, look at this, where the 4 and 9 crosses over and you get these awesome buy signals. So everybody's very bearish right now. The sentiment's very bearish right now. The news is very bearish right now. So you want to be stacking Bitcoins when people are selling, when people are fearful and making the wrong decisions just because, out of emotion or whatnot, or because of everybody's bearish and they think it's a bear market. So I think that we're seeing a bounce here. It's a pretty decent one as well. I think that we're not out of the woodworks right now. We still may consolidate. Right here when we pulled back, because it takes a long time to work up our way for natural price to grow. And when you have selling, it's 3 times faster in terms of dropping in price than when you're waiting for price. We've seen price explode to the upside like it's never before in crypto. So it's literally the Wild West. So this took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 2 months, pretty much 2 months right here until we started working our way. So what we need to do here is find a bottom. So we did cross bearish, we had a bearish cross here as well on the 250, but we still continued up. We did over 100% move. But you can see here, we found the bottom, we consolidated, went through some accumulation, whatever you want to call it, and you can see that we broke out of it. So is this going to be our bottom right here? Are we going to hold this support and then kind of, trend like we did here? I literally called what was going to happen if we break down onto smaller time frames, and that's why I'm in a pretty decent long. So you can see I'm hoping that the price plays out, we find a bottom right here, and we kind of play out like this. You know what I mean? Maybe wick low here and then work our way up, because you can see like we wicked low here, we tested back that low, probably wiped out a lot of longs here, and probably induced a lot of short sellers into this, and then exploded to the top. So we're kind of seeing something very similar here after very steep price action. This was a huge move upwards, very quick, back into all-time highs. Then you have to think about the current state of the world we're in right now with Omni and everything that's happening with inflation. So it's very hard to pinpoint where markets are going. Nobody knows. Nobody could tell you. We just try to do our best, and using technical analysis, we have strategies and tools to limit losses and to take profits. We have plans and things like that. So I'm thinking that we might see something literally similar to this, where we maybe just grind out for a few weeks, maybe 2 months. And what does that mean? That means that altcoins are going to prosper if Bitcoin does this. And you can see this is sitting on huge support on Bitcoin dominance, and this kind of gauges how well alts are going to do. If Bitcoin dominance is in an uptrend, that means that a lot of the volume is going into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is going to be capturing a lot of the market cap. So altcoins won't be performing. But like have we seen here, altcoins are exploding while the dominance of Bitcoin and the market cap of Bitcoin is reducing. So it's depending on if you're a Bitcoin maxi or if you're in altcoins, it doesn't really matter, honestly, but it is important to note this. So if this breaks down this support right here, this huge support right here, I'm expecting altcoins to keep running. Bitcoin to be a little bit stagnant, kind of chop in this area for a little bit, as we noted. So I'm going to, see how it plays out. We might just chop here. Yeah, this is slightly bearish on the technical side, but, fundamentally, Bitcoin, even the net flow of the exchange withdrawals are very bullish. We're seeing a ton of Bitcoins being removed from exchanges and things like that. So I'm still long. We're going to go into smaller time frames. Let me remove all this actually and go over. So that's that's one combination of moving averages, which just went bearish. But if we look at the 4 and 9, which I won't cover too long because we've covered it a ton, you can see look at this huge buy pressure up on this candle right here, this bullish engulfing right here, and then we're just moving upwards. This will cross, and that will be a nice buy signal. Worst case scenario, you get a whipsaw like this, where you get a buy signal, and then you get the sell down. So if you actually follow this strategy, you won't be left in a negative position because you exit. It's a trend indicator. So if you actually follow it, you're out of the bad trend. You bought, you sold. Worst case, you lose 1%, you lose some fees, but you buy when it crosses to the upside. So this was a 50% move, and then over this was a 60% move. So totaled 110%. And then you might get that 1 or 2 bad moves right here. So anyways, let's keep moving forward. Let's keep it going on the 4 hour. So this was kind of the bottom we made right here. And I expected the bottom to kind of see a deep wick. And when I see a huge deep wick like this, while we see the RSI climbing up, and I don't know why I put the fibs there, but I see the RSI climbing up right here while we're generally making lows. This wick tested the low right here. This wick, it sold out so heavily. This was a straight up stop loss grab. Look at this right here. This point's important to note as well. So this was the low, and whoever got orders filled here, here, they were in instant profit. While when the Bitcoin, when Bitcoin jumped up after it touched, what was it, 41K, we went all the way up to 52K. That's huge gains if you had limit orders right here. So I was expecting us to come back down and actually remove and invalidate the price right here, and actually remove everybody who was long and use this as a stop loss. And now we made lower lows. We dipped pretty hard here. So I took that as an advantage because that was a clear stop loss, like liquidation for me. It's just stopping out as many people as you can. It's inducing people to go short and then flying up to the upside. So I took a nice long here and I used this as my stop loss, actually, the bottom of this wick, and I slowly moved it up. And let's look at my long right here. So this is Bitcoin, actually. So yeah, my stop loss was here. I slowly moved it up. I'm actually probably comfortable to move myself into stop and profit because we cleared this zone. And I think that, worst case scenario, we cleared this zone. And okay, we cleared this zone. And that's like a shitty line. And not only that, like I can use this as support. Like I don't want to give back to the market. I don't want to lose, especially. I got into a nice trade. I had a huge spread right here using the bottom of the candle. And now I moved my trade into profits. So this is a stop and profit. It's a free trade and I'm not going to lose. And I have my take profit right here, probably about that $1,000. I think I'm going to move it up to 50,000. Just a huge round number. So that was my entry on the smaller time frames. If we go back to larger time frames right here, I'm looking at, I think, like I mentioned, the $46,000 is clear resistance. That's probably where I will sell. And I was on the 3-day. Let me remove this, and then we'll move on to Ethereum, and then Ethereum against Bitcoin, because I think there's a buying opportunity there. So if I go back and do this, just a second. I am going to change to the line chart, and I'm going to find some great resistance points. I like this one right here. Like that's why I wanted to sell at this point, because it's so interactive. And then right here, 50K. These are my two sell points that I'm looking for Bitcoin to kind of break over. If Bitcoin breaks over these two, we would be breaking this downtrend as well. You can see right here. And then we'd be breaking heavy resistance. So if we look, and why I picked this is because you can see clear support, clear support, clear support, clear support, and resistance right here. And then this one right here, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, resistance. And then when you I love using the line chart on higher time frames to find like huge support and resistance areas, and I put a limit order there. This is like a huge profitable tip. I put a limit order there, and then look at how interactive it is. Sometimes you have to be very patient. Like you get these wicks into them. So for example, I'm trying to find a great play here, but that when it's going into these supports and resistances, it's probably best to cover. So going into 46K, I could take my long off the table, and I'm pretty sure that's where, so 45K, I will raise it a little bit. And I don't want to be too greedy, so 45K, just under 46K, and that's decent profit. I'm not going to complain with that. Not all of my longs got triggered, so I'm looking at just an exit at 46, and then I'm looking at this huge $50,000 support to resistance to be broken. If we can break that, I'd be pretty bullish, honestly. If we can break above 50,000, break this downtrend, break this small downtrend on the RSI as well, and then come back and test it, I would have closed my long for profit here, and I would have repositioned my long on some sort of pullback we get, because I already, played this move, sold, wait for a pullback, get long again, and then play it here. and depends. Maybe I shave here and hold on to all-time highs. So let's go to Ethereum. Ethereum I won't spend too much time on. It's actually doing a lot better than Bitcoin today. I bought on the bounce of the weekly. That was a solid buy right here using support. Sometimes you just have to hope you get wicked in, honestly. And when you get wicked in, you get into instant profit. Then you use the low of the candle. Like that's a decent strategy. And you can actually calculate the amount you're going to get in by the candle, like the spread. So if you only want to lose 10%, I mean, that 10% is a lot. If you want to only lose like 2% of your trade, of your sizing, but the candle width, like let's say it went down so quick so far, and it's actually 20% from your entry, and you only want to lose 2%, that's a 10x. So you actually, instead of doing your whole sizing, you would reduce your position by 10x. So if you had $10,000, you would only go with 1,000 because you would lose 20%, but you're only losing 20% of 10%, if that makes sense. So sizing allocation is important, especially when you get into margin trading, because you don't want to blow out your accounts. You just slowly stack these wins. So I made a video, and I'm going to touch up on this as well. I want to bring this back to life. I started trading with 7 Ethereum last year, and now I'm pretty much at 10 Ethereum. So obviously it's not crazy. I added 3 Ethereum to my portfolio only on BYBIT. I've done extremely well on other areas, like NFTs just exploded, so I didn't have much time to just like grind out the margin trading. So I started with 7 ETH and I'm almost at 10 right now, and I'm gonna keep growing this account. My goal is 100. I have a video from 10 Ethereum to 100. I actually started with 7. And I'm going to do that more often, these videos more often. If you want to sign up with BYBIT, there's a link below. And then we can actually trade together. Join the Discord. We're going to do some Zooms like that. So same thing for Ethereum. I had this as a stop loss. I raised my stop right here. I'm probably good to raise my order, because there's no point of giving back to the market. I wouldn't want Ethereum to, I don't want to get too greedy. I wouldn't want Ethereum to give back all of these gains on the 4 hours, like this whole candle plus this whole move. Then I can just reposition myself. I don't want to be underwater. So I put myself above profit right there. Both of my trades are above water, so I can walk away. I'm chilling, anything could happen. Preferably they hit their take profits. I make 2,500 if both of those trades close out like that, and that'd be a decent day. So let's go to Ethereum. Like I said, it just bounced here. It was just a quick, simple place. You don't need to overcomplicate things sometimes. Look for weekly strong levels of support and resistance. Like, look at this, strong levels of support and resistance, and put your limit orders there. Use a tight stop loss, and this is a big bounce. Hopefully we can get something to like here. Like, this would make sense to me to see resistance right under 4,000. We're in this small little channel here, and if not, we'll break back down, and maybe we'll test 2,000 if Bitcoin goes to test 30,000. Like, it could be very severe. It's hard to say right now, especially with the state of the world's in. So if we go to Bitcoin and Ethereum, ETH against Bitcoin, one of my favorite pairs, honestly, because it's been playing so nicely on the charts. We had our first pullback, our first huge pullback on the weekly after breaking out of this ascending triangle. And this is the last kiss before we blast off into all-time highs if everything works out perfectly. And this is a great place for you to put your Bitcoin to earn 100% against your Bitcoin and Ethereum. We've pulled back pretty decently, and like I said, it's hard to, nobody can call it, but Ethereum's been playing so well out, and we've been actually nailing this pair very on point. So, one Bitcoin could turn into 2 if it plays out from here to here. That's pretty much it for today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. We actually have some huge stuff coming to you guys, giveaways and things we're going to be sharing. So make sure, to stay tuned. Hit the like button if you guys have any questions. If you want me to chart up any of these coins, I'm going to start doing altcoins and more technical analysis, because that's what I love doing, and teaching people so you guys can start spotting these trades. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.